You're listening to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Classic Gamers Guild podcast. I'm here with Paul and we are here to talk about another year in gaming. That's pretty exciting. Paul, why don't you reveal the year in question?
All right, this week we are going to do 1990, which is just the worst year to try and find information on because you can't tell Google 1990 without Google saying, "Oh, the 1990s, all of it." It's impossible. We tried. We got your backslashes. We had quotation marks. We did all the Google tricks, and it would still just not cooperate. So I'm looking, and so is Anna, at a list to keep us fresh as we talk, and it's from Wikipedia, and there's no thumbnails, which is just a bummer. I need the colors and the vibrancy to get excited. So
well, we have a fix for that. So Paul and I have wandered away and found some big box games, which we're holding on to so that we can verify A, that they're a 1990 game, and B, that it is a physical, tangible thing we can look at. It's like a thumbnail. If you hold it, just like put your box in front of your computer and then move it away until it becomes thumbnail sized.
Yeah.
And you're kind of good to go.
Yes, or take your glasses off, whatever you've got to do to distance it. So my esteemed colleague, Anna, here is going to explain to us the asterisk mark that we discovered regarding development and release dates when the line is blurred, such as like when a game is released in January, like Conquest of Camelot. So take it away, because you did the groundwork on this.
Yeah, actually, I've done some footwork on this. What happened was we found that Conquest of Camelot was in the 1990 list, verified by Wikipedia that this is a thing and this is when it came out. But I was like, that's great. I ran out to get my big box because, of course, I want to hold on to it if we're doing the episode. And my big box says 1989. So correct us if we're wrong, because we actually don't know. We're just assuming at this point that because the game was released in January, it was developed in the year previous, being 1989, which is why we see 1989 on the box, but 1990 is actually the release date. So there's our little technicality.
Really long story short is, we think we've done sufficient homework on this to give you facts, and the conclusion that we both came to was in the case of Camelot, if you look on Wikipedia, you'll see January 1990. If you look on the back of your box, you might be like, what's bloody this about? I trust you guys for information, and the box says 89. Well, the deal is that the copyright was acquired, obviously at least a month before the game was released. So if the game was released in January, copyright was the year before. But we're going by released and not developed. So Conquest of Camelot, despite your box's copyright stamp on it, is a 1990 game. And I guess let's start with that one.
Lucky for me, I was able to play it when it first came out. My dad brought it home, and it's one of those games that always stuck in my head. A, because of the timeline, it got me interested in that side of mythology or history. It depends on who you're asking. And it got me into riddles. Like, I already liked riddles, but this game, if you played it, has quite a few of them. And back in the days when I played it, I had no other way to solve the riddles other than to solve the riddles. So I would be like, here's the riddle. I'd go to my dad. I'd go to my mom. I'd write them down. I'd have them, and I'd sit there and I'd look at them. And I finished the game. So I solved the riddles. I guess so. This game taught me history and got me to problem solve. I really don't know how a game could be any better.
Yeah, no, especially when you put it that way. Well, it's funny because the things I think we seem to really, really get poetic about when we look back is the games that really made us work for it, because we remember the payoff being so huge, of finally getting it. And it's just funny because that's stuff we would not put up with nowadays. Like, just do not have time to spend weeks or months on riddles. Or even just fleeting moments on riddles. It's not going to happen.
But yeah, I think this is another example of a game that I wouldn't have had time for if I had other games to play. That sounds terrible, and I've said it before, and it's absolutely no disrespect to the games. It's just like, when I go back and I play them now, I realize there's a lot of thinking and problem solving and going back to it over and over again, and then more thinking and more problem solving. There's still typing. Like this is not like an easy, I'm going to play through this in an afternoon, even though I've never played it before without any hints kind of a game. So I'm so glad I played it back then. Yeah.
And I missed the boat on that one. I mentioned it briefly in a past episode, but long story short is I really want to play it. I'm obviously a, big Sierra fan, and specifically I've just loved the era of SCI Zero and let's just say parser games and stuff like that. But it's like I'm kind of saving it. I'm being like that obnoxious kid in class when like the teacher would hand out like a sweet to everybody, and there was that one kid that saved it until everybody ate theirs and then took it out and ate it like a dick. That's what I feel like I'm doing. Like I'm savoring it because it's like, it's gonna be, okay, there's Kodman Iceman too. I was gonna say it'll be my last like virgin experience with text parser. It's just such a gross and nerdy way to put it.
Yeah, but I totally get it, right?
Yeah, thank you. But and I've got more of an open mind to Iceman thanks to Armesh Sean McCauley and the guild and other people kind of standing up for it, making me feel like, I might not love it, but I might not hate it. Like I feel like I'm guaranteed to. But that being said, Camelot is a beloved game. I loved Longbow from Christy Marks as well, so I kind of know I'm gonna love it. So I'm just saving it.
It's a good one. Just see if you can solve the riddles without looking them up first. I've been sitting here racking my brain. I'm trying to remember some of the ones. I think there's this one. There's weight in my belly, trees on my back, nails in my ribs, feet do I lack. That's one of the ones I remember.
Yeah, no, I'm not a riddle guy. Brain doesn't work like that.
Well, I can't solve it now. So y'all listeners, if you don't know the answer, go play the game. I mean, I know the answer, but I'm not going to tell you the answer. And of course, you're not going to Google it because you are all good children. So carry on. Yeah. Maybe I'll throw another riddle out there later if I remember one. But yeah, totally go out and play it. Christy Marks, amazing. I always talk about her because the story is I watched Gem when I was a kid and I didn't know that it was the same person making the cartoon I liked that made the games that I liked. I did not make that connection. But it's not like the creators of Gem were like, oh, here's a picture of the person who made it and how cool they are. And here's a picture of them dressed up like a knight in armor, like Sierra did on the back of the Camelot box, right? They're just like, here's Gem. She's a cartoon. Watch it. So. Yeah.
And I guess being so like, it'd probably be hard to do an Easter egg for like Robin Hood or Camelot-y stuff in Gem, but I am kind of curious if there's ever sort of any sort of Easter egg to any of her other works in any of those episodes, because I didn't watch them then, so I'm not gonna now.
You're not a gematologist?
No, I'm not. I'm very passionate about stalactites and stalagmites, but it ends there.
Right. I think it's actually, just a side note here, but like my dad, who just finished reading the book Hackers, which was done up in the 80s and is super nerdy, but it talked a lot about the origins and the beginnings of computery nerdy stuff back then. He said to me, who runs the company? Who is the face of the company? Who leaves the legacy from the company? Is it Ken or is it Roberta? And, it's a really interesting question because he's the big boss man. He's the guy that did it, but she's the one on the ground giving us all the stuff.
Yeah, that's a fun question. It really is. Because, it's... I kind of feel like I would talk about it for an hour and then conclude that it's impossible to split them and you'd have to just call it a duo. Because I feel like that's an acceptable answer at certain times in pop culture and such, where it's just, you just can't separate the two.
Bet you Camelot was supposed to be released at Christmas time. I'm just guessing. I'm totally spitballing. Y'all can totally contest this. But I wonder, because it seems like a little bit of an anomaly. If something came up, it wasn't able to be released when it was supposed to be released. I don't even know if it's related at all, but it kind of makes me think it might have been.
I think for anybody that read the Sierra Adventure or Ken's book or even listened to our interview with Ken and Roberta, I don't think that you'd be able to ever imagine a scenario which Ken was like, I want this game to ship just after Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
That was his whole thing. Was Christmas like the most infamous problems and bugs in Sierra games are because Ken really wanted it out for Christmas. So yeah, I think I would blindly put money on that being a fact. It's a fact. I decided it is now, unless he said somebody formally contests us.
Well, I'm just hoping people are paying close enough attention that if they hear something that's not a fact, they can correct us. And let's see. So yeah, Loom, you played it, right? Did you play it a long time ago? Were you younger? When did you play Loom?
Both. Yeah, played it when I was younger and at least twice in the last 6 years, for sure. Probably like 6 years ago and then maybe 2-ish ago. But yeah, I had this weird thought the other day where I don't have a ton of nostalgia for LucasArts games except for both Indiana Jones games, Maniac Mansion and Loom, which means that I guess my dad perhaps wasn't kind of into them as much, or like it's just weird. I don't remember playing Monkey Island as a kid, which is really strange because my dad was obsessed with adventure games. We had just all of them. But there's like these holes with specifically LucasArts ones, and just being a nerd, as silly as it might sound, because he's not with us anymore, that's scarily high on the list of things I would ask him. If I only had 3 questions, that would probably make it in, to be like, what was the story with that? Like, why was there? I know why there was Indiana Joneses, for example, him being a big fan of those. But I don't know. Again, I don't know. It's weird that I don't remember Day of the Tentacle or Monkey Island. But anyway, back to them. Yeah, I played them both at both times. And yeah, what about you?
I don't know. I didn't get into LucasArts games, and it wasn't a special thing. So my dad kind of showed up randomly with some LucasArts games. Sometimes. This being the one-off, and I think I mentioned it a few episodes ago, because, I'm quizzing. Y'all remember what I did a few episodes ago. And I said that my dad brought it home, and he said, here's a game. It's called Loom. It's a musical game. It's not like the other games you play. You're probably not going to like it. I couldn't figure heads nor tails out of it. So I was like, oh, man, okay, it's a musical thing. I'm pretty sure I literally was just like, I'm going to use this as a coaster. I don't even think I bloody turned the thing on. If I did, it would have been for 5 minutes, and I never even understood the basic concept. I kind of treated it like I treated the Dig. Like, I don't get it.
Right.
And I didn't realize until later, and then I joined the guild, and everyone's like, give it a try, but then I couldn't find a copy of it at the time that wasn't like the remastered version, and I finally got a copy and played through it, I think in the last year or so, and it was a sweet little game with the remembering the notes and the new tunes and figuring out, now you gotta, spoiler, do things backwards, stuff like that, like just figuring it out from the beginning, because it's LucasArts, it's kind of straightforward, right, and it's not a very long game, so it's worth it to play.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think one of its criticisms, because there isn't many, would be that it's shorter. But it's really not that short if you're not using a walkthrough. Like it's not that easy. It's not it's
not easy like full throttle.
Yeah, that was LucasArts just nailed it every time with that perfect balance of, it's just. You can get through, like, it's their ability to land right in that pocket for like, I don't know, not risk and reward, but they walked a really good line with the difficulty versus achievable. In other words, the puzzles were usually kind of perfect because they weren't immediately, I know what to do, but they usually weren't look at a walkthrough hard. They were really good at that, but because of the staff note thing and the instead of 9 verbs getting the notes and stuff, like, I feel like it would take a while without a walkthrough, like, a good 5 hours, but I don't know. Yeah. I looked up a few things here and there just because I'm a grown up now, and clearly I don't know how to do things without walkthroughs anymore. Yeah, no, I pretty much always use at least universal hints. Unless it's like King's Quest 3, where it's like, let's just, take a shot of espresso and get through this. This is so punishing. But yeah, Loom's great. We did do an episode on it a long time ago.
Before my days, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to hear it back. It's probably like pretty cringy and stuff. So A part of me wants to be like, hey, check it out if you want to hear more, but the other part of me is like, sorry if you did, because I don't know what it's like. But we did do an episode on it, so I won't go much more into it. I'll just say that, it's phenomenal, and it's really fun, and yeah.
Even if your dad says it isn't.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. He's pretty, it's like, I think that was it. Was there even any other LucasArts games that came out in that year? Was that like the only one in our magical list we've been looking at?
I think so. Let me triple check. No, there's the absolute biggest one, also came out that year.
Monkey Island. Yeah, so I got Monkey Island in the LucasArts Archive Volume 3. And is that the one? Is that 1990?
Yeah. So Secret of Monkey Island was 1990 as well, October.
Yeah. Because I got the one that came in the LucasArts archives had Monkey Island 1 and 2 on a little compilation disc, so I was just able to just
Monkey
run
Madness.
through both of them. Yeah,
Speaking
it was great.
Of duos, you can't really separate the two of them. I can't. Like there's the Monkey Island games really go together as one, because they're both just perfect, pretty much perfect games. Like almost perfect. I don't know why I'm even saying almost, because it's not like I'm hiding something in the back of my mind. For anybody listening, it's like, well, what do you mean almost? I don't know. I'm just in case, I'm just giving some wiggle room, but I think they basically are. I mean, they're, you could probably put every Sierra game in one bag and just Monkey Island in the other and put it on a scale, and Monkey Island's going to win. Like, that's how big it is, and so therefore it's for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I liked them so much. I obviously went and played all the rest of them, and now I think I have a version of one of them on the PlayStation, and I have, I got the Telltale one with all of them in a little thing, so I haven't even played that newest one, the Telltale one. I haven't played that.
Yeah, same.
But that certainly wasn't made in 1990. So we don't have to talk about it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, adventure game wise, again, you've got the biggest adventure game of all time, because it's, I'm trying to think if I at all favor Monkey Island 1 over 2 or vice versa. Like, if you gun to your head kind of thing, apologies for holding a figurative weapon at your head, but I am. Could you pick? Yes.
Oh my god! No. No, because they're on the same CD and I played them one after another. It's like I got Monkey Island in the expansion. It felt like it's like Monkey Island and more Monkey Island. It was just, I don't know. I played them together, so they're together for me, hand in hand. Yeah,
actually, I think you hit the nail on the head. We would need somebody to answer us that didn't play them together. Straight up, played them when they were released, kind of thing. And let them say, because the same as you, I played them like a month apart, so they almost blend together in a way. But yeah, no, it's an amazing game. I feel bad because I feel like anytime Monkey Island comes up, I kind of dismiss it as like, well, it's just so good. What else do you say about it? The listeners know the deal by now. Like, I always give that same kind of shrugging off thing. So if you feel like I'm lingering on it, I'm pandering. I'm trying to just spend time talking about it. It's just, a wonderful game. Damn it, I don't know what to say.
It is. No, it's freaking great. The colors are great. The humor was spot on. I'm
drawing the same blanks because in my head I can also just hear all the things that have been said about it before. I'm doing the thing again. I'm supposed to. My own opinions was I played it too many times. The first 20 minutes of it too many times because I kept trying I was really trying to make playing adventure games on my iPad a thing. Because on paper it's still the best way to do it. Like if you got a big old 12.9 whatever iPad, is like this big screen sitting in your lap in bed. It doesn't get all hot, and point and click was made for touch interface. It's just perfect, but I can never get into it. I don't know why. Like, I don't feel committed to tablets or phones, I guess. But anyway, I kept trying to make that a thing, so I kept firing up Monkey Island and bailing, and then I finally played it. And I don't think I knew that you left Melee Island for like a year or two. And then when I finally I'm like, oh my god, there's way more to this game than just, the island. I never got past those trials. So yeah, the game just opened up and yeah, I don't know. It's just, you know what? I know what I'll say. Go check out Yak Wax Lips. check out Michael's channel on YouTube. Go check out Yak Wax Lips and watch some of his playthroughs of the Monkey Island series, because he does it justice. He's so much fun to listen to when he's playing them, because his enjoyment and nostalgia and enthusiasm, it's like really contagious just by the way he's narrating and going through it and having fun with it. I mean, I love his channel in general, so please go subscribe to it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's what I'll say, because I don't have an original thing to say about it besides it's great, but Michael has a lot of really cool things to say about it. And it's fun to watch him play him, honestly. I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, there we go. Monkey Island equals go watch Yak Wax Lips on YouTube. Subscribe, press the buttons. What's the next bloody game we got here?
Let's see, back into familiar territory, into Sierra Land with Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire, which says 1990 anywhere I look. Seems to be solidly in 1990. And now I mentioned in the 1991 episode about the switch between small boxes and big boxes. And Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire is a small box compared to one of the other 1990 games, which is, okay, I had to shake the box a little. I said I wasn't going to shake the box. I shake the box. But anyways, King's Quest 5, which is also on disc, is also 1990 and in a big fat box that's like twice the width. So I wonder why.
Me too. I'm almost wondering if King's Quest V was the first of Sierra's big fat boxes, because they kind of tried to roll in a new era with that title, with the CD-ROM thing going on, and and the graphics, obviously. I'm kind of curious. I'd almost suspect that's the answer. I just don't want to get too confident myself to inevitably be wrong, which I probably am. Mm-hmm. But it seems like they tried to do an image change around King's Quest V.
There's a lot of discs. Like in my Quest for Glory 2 Trial by Fire, it is stuffed, but everything can fit. Like looking inside King's Quest V, there is absolutely no freaking way that you would be able to get everything in this box into a skinny box. It just simply won't fit. So I wonder if it's necessity of size anyways.
Yeah, because that's a good point. I remember the Quest for Glory, a lot of the SCI games that they would ship with, Camelot was one of them too. They would ship with like 10 5-inches, and then of course the 4 to 6 3-inch discs, and it was just like very hard to put it back once you take it out.
Exactly. So, and like there's this certain way where you can like fan stack the discs. Like I guess there's probably some legit way I'm supposed to be doing it, but I swear if I don't like intersperse the discs amongst the other discs a little bit, I can't get some of my game boxes closed all the way properly.
Yeah, I never played enough Tetris to really get that locked down.
No, I'm not good at that. My games before I started caring suffered horribly, I'm sure. Like just the evidence from the games I still have left over from when I'm younger. They suffered a little.
Yeah.
All right. So you've played, like we've been doing this. Let's keep this going. You've played Quest for Glory 2, or you haven't, have you?
I have. I played the Quest for Glory series, like I think it was like 9 years ago now, and I played them all back to back. I gave some space between 3 and 4, but I played them all back to back, and I played them all with walkthroughs, largely sitting in my Jeep in the parking lot of a farm. It's a long story, but it's not a good one, so we're going to bypass it. But it's just not a bad one either. It's just, not interesting. But anyway, enough about that. I can't separate them very good, and I rush through them, and I use the walkthrough, and all these things to say that I didn't walk away with like a real good understanding of the games. Like I don't remember which ones, where it was the Sahara, for example, and just yeah, I need to replay them as we've kind of talked about in chat, that I've kind of made it a goal to in the next like 3 months or so to play Quest for Glory 1 EGA and just take my time with them like I have been games since then. With, using hints if I need them and not a walkthrough, and just stop and enjoy it. But, so yeah, I kind of just know that I've played them, and I know that I liked it, but I also know that, I think a lot of me was like on autopilot, just filling in answers from a walkthrough for some reason. I don't know why it was at all even considered enjoyable to me at the time, but it was. I had a good time with it, but anyway, yeah, I don't recall them individually or well enough to talk too much about them, but that's exactly why I want to play the EGA first one and make an episode of it, because it's a beloved classic, and I feel a little bit of shame for not bringing much to the table regarding the whole series ever.
Yeah, no, that's good. I would totally be down for that episode. You know what I'm sitting here admiring is in this year, the Sound Blaster support just it went nuts. You've got AdLib and Game Blaster, Roland MT32, LAPC. Am I saying this wrong? I don't even know these ones because I never had one of these. LAPC-1, CM-32L, Sound Blaster, and PS1. I'm like, PS1, don't you play games on that thing? No. Apparently, if you have one in your computer, you can listen to sounds from this game. So that's freaking cool.
And you got the weird Thunderboard? Something? Driver, sound card? Look, if you run a Sierra game from that era and you get an error about your Sound Blaster, just switch the driver to Thunder whatever and it works. I don't know why. That's a fact though. You could bloody take it home with you.
Yeah, it's nice to have these quirks. I didn't have any sound cards, so I was literally like beeping and booping my way through these games on an amber monochrome screen. You're like, how can you play that? It's in a desert. Everything's amber, right? But no, apparently it worked. So
this is actually the most realistic amber ever got. Really nailed the desert.
So, but yeah, all of these ones actually. King's Quest V, if I'm sticking within the Sierra vein. Surprise, I'm sticking within the Sierra vein. But it's the same. It's got the hard disk or dual drive supported mouse and joystick optional. You've got your Roland, your LAPC-1, AdLib, Sound Blaster, PS1, and Game Blaster sound cards. Okay, they put it in a different order, but like not required. Now here's that is the cool thing. They're not like, yeah, you can get the most up and coming newest hardware and play this game, or you can just play the game.
Right. Yeah, exactly. They always had your back, and they had like the lesser drivers were available for you. They were good like that. What's interesting about King's Quest V was that Sierra's really known for being an innovative company, and a lot of their innovations came together for King's Quest V. Obviously, like their flagship series, and a big deal to them. But yeah, King's Quest V got the first CD-ROM and the new graphics and all the variations, and that's what I was gonna say. It's interesting because you got the DOS version, right, with no talkie, and then there's the CD-ROM version with the talkie, and then there's another CD-ROM version that's Windows only. So there's one CD-ROM that's Windows and DOS, and then there's another CD. It's the CD that was sold in the it's actually right literally here. The CD that was sold in the Sierra Originals packs. It's a blue jewel case, or the insert's blue with gold font, and that one's the Windows only one, as opposed to the CD case cover where he's standing on the mountain, the snowy mountains. And I might have those backwards, but I don't think I do. I think the Snowy Mountains one is the Windows and DOS, and the blue one is Windows only. But I say that to say, like, the character portraits are a bit different in the Windows only one, and it's just those fun little things, especially with a lot of Sierra games, because there were so many variants to those ones where you could go in there and just find oddly changed things, like just an overly ambitious artist or developer that day just would do slightly different weird things to different versions, but I don't know. I find that fascinating. So it's kind of cool. You can get King's Quest EGA, King's Quest VGA, King's Quest VGA CD-ROM, and then King's Quest VGA CD-ROM with the slightly different portraits. So there's a lot going on there. And
then you've got King's Quest V for the Nintendo, which I actually now have, and I haven't played yet, but I've seen pictures, and that's a thing that happened. Which, it's funny to me because it's like, it was the first hand-painted background game that I'd ever played. It was like my first point-and-click game outside of a parser game that I'd ever played. So to see what it looks like on the Nintendo is kind of funny. I mean, and I know some people are super passionate about it, and it's the version that they played, but just looking at it from like a now 2021 stance, it's amusing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's yeah, I've got it, and I haven't played it, but I'm gonna omit saying yet, because I don't think I will.
I just wanted to own it. It's a looking game.
Right, yeah. It's like the silverware your mom had growing up. You never ate with it for some reason, but it was there.
No, and you have to keep it. you're not allowed to get rid of it. It's just a thing that is now. It's a thing, and sometimes it gets polished. I don't know. It's a thing.
Yeah, sometimes my cat knocks it on the ground. I mean, you never know. That's the fun part of having random things.
Exactly. My cat's helping now. He's now sleeping on the big box I'm just about to pick up. So, when did you play King's Quest V?
I played it as a kid, and then so probably very close to, if not right when it came out, and then again really recently. As you recall, I played through the first 6 of them. Sort of. No, I played through. I played 3 through 6 recently, pretty back to back, and I really liked it. It was really fun. Like I think I do like 6 more, but I was expecting to like 6 more than I did, because it's just it gets such accolades. You know, like it's just they make it sound like it's a league above the rest, which they're allowed to make it sound that way if they feel that way. Let me get off your back. I don't mean to come across like you're not allowed to feel that way. I just mean for me, maybe it was a little overhyped, and I thought 6 was gonna be a little more than it was. So then in hindsight, I was like, 5 was really fun, but I can feel myself doing the underdog thing where it's like I'm tempted to pick 5 because it's not 6, but that's probably not the case. 6 is probably a little better because 5 was kind of brutal at times, but ultimately I really liked 5. It was a lot of fun, and I mean Roberta Williams games are just the most brutal. To the many people who are kind of more LucasArts only and don't like Sierra games, or not even don't like, but just more LucasArts, maybe haven't tried Sierra games, do not start with King's Quest, please, because I want you to like Sierra. And I think it's pretty hard to like King's Quest unless you're nostalgic for it, because they're just all the worst things about Sierra, all the things that the LucasArts kind of crowd, if you will make fun of Sierra for, it's probably coming right from a King's Quest game. They're just really hard, because Roberta Williams, bless her, she loved hard games. That was her thing. She, the games that inspired her to make games were really difficult, and she enjoyed that. And obviously other
Colossal
people did
Cave,
too.
anyone?
Yeah. So it's a brutal, like there's no way you're gonna handle the you're gonna save the mouse from the cat, like unless you look up a walkthrough, we're told. It's just you get one shot, and it's like, and then you get all the weird speed timing issues with emulation, and it's kind of a mess. I do stand by a few episodes ago, a lot of episodes ago, I kind of came to the defense of the Yeti with the pie thing, because I stand by that. My logic was, adventure gamers know that you use your inventory on the situation. So if you get stuck, the first thing you do is go into your inventory and just use all the things on the problem. And a lot of times it doesn't work, but I mean, that's still the first thing you do. And like in that Yeti scene, I don't remember exactly, but I think visually I kind of recall having like 6 items on me. So it's like, it wasn't even that many. Like I looked at my inventory, I'm like, well, the first thing I'll try is like this boot or whatever, because that probably makes the most sense, and it didn't work. And then like the second thing I tried was the pie. And it's like, it's I mean, I guess it's absurd that would make him fall off the cliff, but as far as being like a moon logic puzzle, it's not. It's ridiculous. No. It's ridiculous, but like, and maybe the logic that a pie would make a Yeti stumble off a cliff, albeit fractionally possible, is I guess where the moon logic thing comes from. But I guess I'm saying in the moment when you're playing it, it's not it's not like I need a walkthrough backwards Rumpelstiltskin kind of puzzle. It's just like, I've got a few things, and this like makes the second most sense to throw at this thing right now.
Yeah, that's it. I didn't even understand moon logic till I joined these groups. I was just like, some of the puzzles were harder, but I didn't write the game. I'm just trying to figure out what the developer wants me to do, and I will cheat. And by cheating, I mean what you just said. Click everything on everything until something happens. That's why point and click games are easier. Yeah, fair enough. Yes, and being able to visualize, what you're combining. But otherwise, because I've been going through and going back and playing parser games again. It's just hard to figure out how to phrase everything the way that they want you to say it, right? I guess that's a common complaint. But in the clicking game, you're like, I don't need to figure out nothing but like click here, 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 unless I mix a pixel. Like, I can't even complain about pixel hunting if there's no parser. It's just like click, click, click. It's no problem.
Yeah, comparatively, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point. But
yeah, could I get through a point and click adventure game without a hint book? or hints now that I'm a grown-up. So click, 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 it's easy now, or click, 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 it's easy when I used to be better at them. I don't know.
Right. I maybe both, because I can't argue that it would have been better, or let's say easier, not better, back in the day. But nowadays, it does help with the time factor too, if you're trying to just get through something. But anyway, it's a good game, and I would say, if it's your first Sierra game, make it not your first Sierra game. And I'll also annotate that Roberta Williams was responsible for Colonel's Bequest directly, and that's fine. That's not a Roberta Williams-y game when it comes to logic and puzzles and stuff. So that is the exception. But I feel better having said that. All right, well we don't have a lot of time left, so let's move on to our to the non-Sierra LucasArts ones.
Yeah, and hang on, and I'm going to throw in Rise of the Dragon. It's Dynamix, and I'm not questioning it because I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm saying it like that because I think it is that. But anyways,
yeah, it is.
It's beautiful because you've got over 8 megabytes of game data. It almost looks like so old school compared to a Sierra game. You've got blue hues on everything. It essentially, I mean, I know it's got more. It's got your 16 or 256 colors, but essentially with the hue, and everything just kind of looks like nighttime. And I don't know. I don't know if you've ever played Rise of the Dragon.
No, I haven't played Rise of the Dragon. I kind of grouped that together with Heart of China because they're both Dynamix, both kind of first-person-y and just unique and cool and different. I really want to play them, but I haven't. And I guess because of that reason, I can't add anything to that.
All right. So yeah, Rise of the Dragon, that's another one. And the only other, I'm just going to bring in my last one because it's the only other one I've got. But I've also got, and this I've actually just gotten recently off of a local yard sale, but it's Sim Earth, which is another 1990 game. I'm guessing you weren't much into sim games, but this was a really hard, beautiful, fun game. Very complicated.
Yeah, no, I never played. I played a lot of Sim Ant, and that's literally it. Well, I think I played a bit of Sim City when it first came out. I recall destroying plenty of cities in my time, but disproportionate amount of love for Sim Ant. But not Sim Earth.
But yeah, this is it. Sim Earth, it's like it was intelligent. You've got to deal with global warming. You can go from like dinosaurs all the way up to modern times. It's kind of like Civilization without the politics.
Right. Okay. Yuck. Just no appeal to me.
Hang on. If that doesn't get you, what about this instruction manual? Hang on. I'm going to get into this. 220 pages, and it's a book-sized, like, not trade paperback. I'm talking like almost a magazine-sized instruction book. This thing is beefy.
Yeah, no, the payoff, it's not there. It's just not there for me.
So that's it.
I've dropped out of state-run institutions for education based on books that were too large. It was never my thing. Very wordy.
No. So you weren't into flight sims then? Because like flight sims, damn, those are some big-ass books.
Yeah, no, my dad was, but zero interest. Yeah, the pacing. I could play Red Baron for 3 minutes. That's, and I know that's not a simulator, but I mean that's as far as I go with flight games. Oh, and Blue Lightning on Lynx. Oh, it's such a good game.
See, there's a few. I like Microsoft Flight Simulator, the very, very first one. That one was fun.
Yeah, very polygonally. All right, so let's wrap this up with a few smaller hitters that are worth a mention. One will be Altered Destiny, which we brought up on the show before, but that's I want to like it more than I do, but I do like it. It's from Accolade. If you're in a position to Google it as you're listening, like give it a look. It's or maybe you don't say those things because they lose interest in the show and stuff. It doesn't matter. Again, you're here. It's fine. We count on the same basic number of you guys every week. It's fine. It's a cool looking game. It looks very much like I don't want to say generic Sierra because it's higher quality than generic would imply, but it's like I don't know. It's just different. It's just a little different. Like the palettes, everything is just a little different. But there's definitely a Space Quest influence in a lot of the scenes. There's like your rock cave walls and like you're walking on the edge of a planet kind of feeling like you get in Space Quest 3. And we've gone into it in the past before, especially Rick, 'cause I think he had recently played it. But anyway, I'm just mentioning it. It's, if nothing else, if you take nothing else away from this, it's on GOG, so you can play it. But mostly just Google it, because the screenshots are fun. It might get, it might spark something and make you want to try it. Yeah, and then we also got Geisha. That's a pretty risque game.
Mm-hmm.
I never played it. It's got kind of a, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Cocktail Vision, but it's got kind of a like a Mac Venture sort of feel, to relate it to you, like a spell casting. With like the graphic part of the screen is like a small square, upper right. And then there's like, word boxes and so to listeners, like if you could just imagine like Deja Vu, or Shadowgate or something like that, it's got that kind of look to it. Yeah, again, I want to play it. I just haven't. I don't know. What else?
It's pretty, actually, yeah, it says, that's right, Spellcasting 101. Sorcerers get all the girls. Also, that's a 1990 game that looks like sexier than this game here, actually, that you're showing me. The color is pretty, the graphics, I mean, it's all the tiny dots, right? So it's like, well, pixels, I know you're like, obviously it's all tiny dots, but I mean, it's like a dot shading style, the way it looks like if I just flip it over, but it's a lot of reading. It's essentially like a text game, but you can do clicking on words and stuff. I don't think you've played these games. Am I correct?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I've not played Geisha, and yeah, you nailed it. It's like it's in that family of again, like the Mac Ventures and the spellcastings, where it's pretty much a text adventure, but they give you a GUI and a little screenshot that changes, not as much as you might think. But I haven't played this, so I could be totally wrong about that last part.
Wow, I'm opening up my spellcasting book and I have an official hint book in here. I didn't even know you could get an official hint book for this game. That's cool.
Bonus. Yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah, so
this episode's awesome. It's getting me opening up all these boxes I ain't looked at in ages.
All right, and pretty much last on the list is Hugo's House of Horrors. So, and that's a fun little, I think infamously shareware game. I don't know if you could say I think next to infamously, because it doesn't work like that. But yeah, it was a shareware game. And a fun fact I know about that was it's not even that fun, but the guy who made it was, I think, kind of sick of people saying that it was a bit of a ripoff of Maniac Mansion, that he had claimed that he designed it before Maniac Mansion had came out, which was interesting because it Hugo came out a lot farther past that, a lot later down the line. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. That's I could probably I kind of want to play it, but I could also see that just never happening.
Yeah, I saw somebody, Julia Minamata, at the stream it a couple of years ago, and yeah, it looked cute. I mean, it looked really primitive.
Yeah, it just reminds me of like one of the first like almost fan games. Like some of the stuff that came out of like AGS in 2003, had this kind of fan gamey amateur vibe about it. I mean, some of them didn't, and they were amazing too. But yeah, just reminded me of like an AGS fan game, but way back in the day. But spooky nonetheless. So yeah, maybe one day I'll try it. And there's 2 more of them, and I think they were always freeware, so you could probably just go grab it if you want to. And the last one we've got, as we just running fully out of steam, is Operation Stealth, or depending on where you live, James Bond 007 Operation Stealth. So yeah, in the United States it was James Bond 007 The Stealth Affair, and then
that's what I've got.
Everywhere else, I believe, it was Operation Stealth.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because mine's 007 James Bond The Stealth Affair. Yeah, that's definitely what it says. So
yeah, some sort of rights issue, I guess. For some reason, they only had rights to James. Maybe they only. Yeah, it's really weird, because if they got the rights to the James Bond name, I wonder why they didn't use it everywhere. Because I'm assuming, weren't allowed to, and had to just yoink his likeness out of the game and take the name away. But it doesn't matter. It's an adventure game. It's by Delphine. And it looks good. It looks like I'll say that I want to play it and plan to play it, and proceed to probably not. And then just for the fun of it, I will say that there was video games released in 1990 that were not adventure games.
What? No.
Yeah, which is, I know, it's just ridiculous. They'll never catch on. Just these other genres. But there was Super Mario World, right? I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot bigger than that, I guess.
No, that's a fan-freaking-tastic game, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and it's great. But yeah, the flagship Mario for the new Super Nintendo came out that year, so we can't not mention that. And then just F-Zero, Dr. Mario, Metal Gear 2, Final Fantasy 3, Castle of Illusions, something Mickey Mouse, Fire Emblems. These are very wordy titles. I'm not clicking on the links to say the whole name. You know it. You probably know it. I don't know.
Castle of Illusions, when I was sick from school and my parents rented me like a Nintendo, I think, or a Sega, and Castle of Illusions was one of the games, and I was really looking forward to it, and it was really freaking hard. I was shocked how hard the game was.
Yeah, well, that's good perspective too, because really, King's Quest V being difficult, we forget how ungodly difficult console games were in 1990. Like they just, like even the ones for children, like Ninja Turtles, they're just brutal.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely
like
brutal.
Talk about doing something over and over and over again. And then people are complaining about Sierra. Man, you can save in Sierra. Not even all Nintendo games like Metroid gave you a code. A lot of them are just like, yeah, that's nice. Have fun restarting the whole game.
Yeah.
Like, oh, did you get far? Oh, boo-hoo. You have longer to go before you get there again.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do like the whole world in Mario over if you lost your 3 lives, but
Exactly.
I digress. That's a whole another episode. Why it's okay to die in other genres but not adventure. Smash TV, Snake's Revenge, Star Control, Mega Man 3. That's a good one. Pit Fighter. I had Pit Fighter. I don't remember. But the one last one I'll mention, we'll wrap this episode up, is not an adventure game, but it's a beloved classic. I've not actually ever played it, but it's Wing Commander. Everybody loves Wing Commander. I love Wing Commander. I mean, I've never played it, but I feel like I love it.
It's just an automatic love.
Yeah, and everyone's so enthusiastic about it, and it's probably great. Have you played it?
Probably. My dad played all these games, so like by the time 1999 came around, I was again probably playing those games in the early 2000s, and by that time I had a lot more games. So it's like I can say, oh yeah, I played like 15 games, but I'm like, how many games did you finish in that time era? Yeah, good question.
Yeah, no, that's a good point too. But yeah, okay, so it's kind of 0 for 2 on both of us, but I assure you, everybody else has played that game, and they love it. and I'm here for them, and I support that. And there's a bunch more, but I mean, I don't feel like saying names at you guys quickly, so let's just put this whole thing out of its misery. We're good to go. All right. Well, we don't really have final thoughts. Oh my God, Ultima 6, the False Prophet, 1990.
Oh, jeez, yeah, jeez. If you didn't mention that, that would have been trouble.
Whew, that was close. Yeah. That was close. Yeah. And also Dragon's Lair, that was 1990. Right? Everybody listening probably lost a good $20 or so to that.
At least.
Mad Dog McCree. There was some good stuff. Michael Jackson Moonwalker. I really liked that game. Uncovered some weird facts about it in an episode we did about ridiculous games. All right, that's it. We're done. You guys can go now. Wait, hold on. Before you do, we're a Facebook group. We're a community. Come join the discussion. Follow us on Facebook not at, but just on Facebook at Classic Gamers Guild. You gotta say at. You gotta say the at. We're on Instagram at CGG Podcast. Also on Twitter at CGG Podcast. Come do us a bloody tweet. Say hello. Send us an email if you like. Mail at classicgamersguild.com. You could become a Patreon if you want. Patreon, just just, you head there, you search Classic Gamers Guild, and suddenly it's asking for that 3-digit security code. So just let it happen. But a huge thank you to all of our Patreons. Really appreciate you guys helping us cover the hosting fees for Podbean and stuff like that. So thank you guys. Really appreciate you. And extra special thanks to those in said tier, which is Una and Gus, Jean-Francois Paget, and Jay Holmes, and then Mark Fillion. And Mark's game Chinatown Detective Agency is coming soon. Go check it out on Steam, wishlist it, grab the demo, all that great stuff. Check out Yak Wax Lips on on Facebook too, why not? But mostly on YouTube. That one's just, that one's for free because I like Michael and his channel. That's it. So we're done. Got a question. If you guys want to write us in, we're looking to spotlight and highlight a modern adventure game. So if you guys have any suggestions for what you would like to hear us cover in that regard, send us an email and let us know. We're considering things like one of the many amazing Wadget Eye games, or one of Francisco's amazing games, Whispers of Machine, just any modern adventure game, Thimbleweed Park, Unavowed, whatever. You get the point. If you want to hear us talk about one of those just at you for a while, let us know, and we might. So, don't do a murder.